A question I get asked a lot is how to find a third person for a three-way. I have a client who had a threesome before they were ready, and it failed miserably. He didn't know how to give her the kind of attention that she would have needed to feel safe and relaxed through the experience, and she didn't know how to ask for what she wanted in a way that was direct enough for him to be able to provide it. So the threesome ended up doing a lot of damage in their relationship. It was kind of a threesome gone wrong. Through our work together, we were able to repair a lot of the damage. Now, what's interesting is both of them had had experience with threesomes in the past, but they hadn't really brought it into their relationship consciously, and they didn't know how to talk about it and establish a certain level of communication that let them know that they were actually ready. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what needs to absolutely be in place before you're ready for a threesome so that you don't end up damaging your relationship. And then also how you can start to open up the process in a way that feels good, safe, and exciting for both people. I work with a lot of clients who love each other and they're committed to each other. They know that they are definitely not polyamorous, and they've traditionally been more black and white monogamous, but they're feeling like there's something else that they want to explore. And this is what I call the gray zone. It's the vast area in between polyamory and monogamy where there are so many other options where you get to make up your relationship structure exactly the way that you want. And I help people do this in a way with consciousness, integrity, awareness, and longevity. With all of that in mind, actually opening up to exactly the point that still feels safe, but yet still creates a lot of new excitement in the relationship. It's important to know how to do this in a way that doesn't damage your relationship. So through supporting hundreds of couples and opening safely, I have found some specific things that make that work. So if you are the person who is asking how to find a third person for a three-way, first, you want to think about what positive impact do you see having a three-way would have on your relationship? How do you think that it would actually support you and your partner in the long run? And this is something, if you want to take it out and write it down, it can be super helpful to get really clear on the benefits that you think and the opportunity that you think having a threesome would provide. And when you have that clarity, go to your partner and bring up the conversation of exploring new desires. Let them know that you want to breathe some new life or find some new passion and excitement in your relationship, and you want to open a conversation of sharing desires with one another. And this can be one of your desires that you share. And when you share it, share the opportunity for your partner and for your relationship and what you see as possible through exploring a threesome with your partner. And then you also want to be patient. So if you are rushing and attached to making this happen now and you're pushing for it, then you're actually not ready. And that can be a really tough dose of medicine for people to take that are really attached and want it, but it's really true. Because if you have the relationship in mind going into it, the threesome has a lot more chance of success. But if you're just bulldozing and pushing past emotions that are there without fully unpacking and confronting them, then you can really blow out your relationship and do some serious damage. Because the thing about a threesome is it's not going to fix something that's wrong in your relationship. It's much better to approach a threesome with the energy of like, wow, we have so much love and so much passion for each other, and we want to multiply that, rather than looking to an outside, to a third, to actually come in and fix something that you think is missing between you and your partner. Rather go in and get the support that you need to fix whatever the issue is between you and your partner. And once you are on a really solid footing where you're really connected with one another, that's the time to go and explore a threesome. And then if you are with someone who wants to have a threesome, the question that I have for you is, can you be open to discussing it? So many times what I see happen, somebody wants to have a threesome, they bring up the conversation, and their partner is just an automatic no. So, and they're not open to talking about it. They're even mad that they brought it up. And what that actually creates in your partner is shame. Shame about their desire. And the natural thing to do with that is then repress it and say, oh, well, my partner doesn't want this, so I'm going to shove it down and pretend that it's not there. But what happens? It grows. The desire for this threesome and the fixation on it and the preoccupation with other people and other energies grows when they can't actually have an outlet to share about it. And eventually this leads to infidelity. And I believe that not being open about and discussing your desires in your relationship is the number one cause of infidelity and cheating. So if you can be open to your partner just being able to discuss this with you, and for both people making the distinction between talking about something and actually acting on it, and allowing for them to be able to talk about anything, any desire they have, even if it's weird or crazy or super taboo, but to be able to discuss it with you gives them the space to not be in shame and repression about what they want. And then it can be something that you work out and decide the right timing for you in your relationship, instead of something they're secretly like researching on the internet behind your back, or secretly wanting when they're out at happy hour with drinks with their coworkers. Rather, it's something that you two can discuss within your relationship. And then another thing is, know that it doesn't mean that you're not enough if your partner wants to have a threesome. That a lot of times it can act, if done properly, it can actually be something that creates a whole new level of love and connection in your relationship. Because know that you are the one they're in love with. This other energy that they bring in many times gives them the understanding of how much they actually love you if you are open to them doing it. And other times they don't even need to act on it. Just the fact that you're open to talking about it and exploring the idea of it and giving them that kind of freedom, sometimes they actually just don't even need to go there. It's just feeling like they have that freedom that they're actually after. And then the other thing is to get really clear on what desires you have as well. What would you like to explore? And what boundaries do you have within having a threesome? So say you end up having a threesome, like what are your boundaries? And then know that that could change in the process. So for both people, you know that you're ready. One way you know you're ready for a threesome is when you're both really comfortable sharing present moment what you're feeling, being connected to what you're feeling present moment and sharing it present moment. Like I'm talking about if you're in the act and you're suddenly feeling jealous and really uncomfortable, being able to share that in the moment. That's how you know that your relationship is ready for a threesome. So how do you find a third person for a three-way? I suggest starting slow and small. I suggest having the conversation about it and then maybe taking a baby step, like going out and just looking around and seeing who you both think is sexy together. And then checking in with your experience, present moment. How does that feel when you're talking about this with them? Does it feel exciting, or does it bring up jealousy and discomfort? Where are you at with it? Can you lean into it? Do you want to go further? Or is this where you're comfortable for now? And then maybe try flirting with people together. But really start with these baby steps instead of just going out, getting wasted, and finding someone to have a threesome with. And then playing with the edge. What I'm talking about is playing with the edge of what your discomfort is instead of blowing past it. And sometimes it's enough to just casually step into the gray zone, especially if you've never explored before. It's something that you want to treat with a lot of care. And just step your toe into the gray zone instead of completely diving in. And then letting go of the push to make it happen and seeing what it feels like to be swimming in this new water with your partner, and let that be enough. So if you want to find a third person for a three-way, make sure that the first two most important people are in alignment beforehand.